Yeah, that's right. People are actually making money in 360, and I'm going to break it down with a special guest now. Greetings and salutations, I am Skojo in 360. Well, wow, it has been a busy time of my life. As I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I'm a TV weatherman part-time, and I've been doing it a lot lately, so the videos have been a little bit leaner, but I've been able to stand in front of the camera and talk about the weather and go like this a lot. And then people complain because I didn't get their sunshine at 5 o'clock at 5:02. But I digress. CES, if you're seeing this when I first release it, that means CES is either about to happen or is happening. The Consumer Electronics says, and it's basically the biggest consumer electronics show, convention, hangouts with weird electronics dorks. Basically, it's a huge consumer electronics convention show. And I've never gone. I've always kind of wanted to, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I'd come out of there feeling greasy. But it's where everybody's going to be releasing their new products. The new Insta360 is going to be announced there. Want to get my hands on that one. And then also, there is a new product from a company with a new name. Now, Psoft Tech, which is a weird name to begin with, has now changed to Labpano. Great name. They had the Psoft Tech era, the Pilot era, and that was a camera that I never have used. It did catch my eye when it first came out because it was kind of pointed more towards virtual tours, which is really the only place that most people are making any money in 360 video right now. So it looked like, like the Insta360 One X and the GoPro Max are all action cameras. This one's more like a utility device. So they caught my eye with that, and we've been communicating now for a little while, and they told me they had a new product coming out, and so I took a look at it. Not physically, but I looked at the specs and went, ooh, this looks pretty incredible. Now, I'm someone who has done very few 360 tours. I have made some money doing 360 tours. I did a cannabis dispensary chain in Seattle. I've done a real estate for a home. I've also done I've also done a vacation home cabin up in the San Juan Islands. So I do have some experience with it, but if you really want to learn about 360 tours, check out Ben Claremont on YouTube. He's the man that's really getting on the cutting edge of that. But I've done enough of it, and I am a professional traditional video producer that I know a few of the tricks and trades and things like that. So virtual tours are really the way that you're going to make money in 360 video at this time. Now, Li, the COO of Labpano, was kind enough to, amongst all the CES mayhem, record some answers to some questions about their camera for me, because again, I haven't got my physical hands on it yet, because I'm very intrigued about this as a working professional's device. So first I asked Li, just give me an overview about the camera.
I'm Li. I'm the CEO of Labpano, formerly Psoft Tech. We are a 360 camera hardware and solution provider here based in Shenzhen, China. It's great to be on the show today. As you know, Scott, our previous model, Pilot Era, has some pretty good receptions in the Google Street View market for its efficiency, for its super easy to use and easy to share. The Labpano One will inherit all those great features. What's more important is it comes in a smaller package. Can you imagine that this is still an 8K camera that you can put in your pocket and go anywhere? It's great for going mobile. And this camera will come with 4G and 5G module that will allow you to stay connected anywhere we go.
Okay, now that's really what catches my eye amongst many other things is this 4G, 5G thing. And I don't know, now I'm not an expert in this field, but I don't know of another camera that has one of these. And at 8K, it's pretty amazing that it's so small, 8K, and you'll be able to have some modules to presumptively run 4G, 5G, which is huge. So they've got some features that, as someone who's done just enough tours to realize it could solve a lot of the headaches. Now, I will say that I'm in the minority on this, but I like doing video 360 tours. Most people do photographs for their tours. I've done a couple where I actually had human beings walking in and around. I'll try to leave a link in the description below so that, like, if it's a home you're trying to sell, it feels like people are in the home and it gives you context about size and relationships to things. So personally, when I do tours, I try to get my clients to do video. There are some inherent difficulties with that. I tried to shoot HDR video in a tour and got some strobing in the lights, and you get some ghosting artifacts. That's just with Insta360 One X. I'm not sure about other cameras. There are devices out there like Matterport that are making tours, again, primarily photo-centric tours. That seems to be the trend in the industry right now. Again, for me, I would personally think you should do video so that you actually see motion. I mean, especially if you're using Oculus goggles, you're looking around, and if it's, if nothing's moving, it doesn't feel real. Whereas if, you can see wind blowing through the trees and things like that, you have context that really make people feel like they're there. And that's the whole point of 360 video, is to really make people feel like they're there. Okay, so then I asked Lee, what are the 3 things about the camera that he thinks are kind of the showstoppers, the thing that, really sets them apart?
Okay, Scott. Actually, there are many great features of this camera. But if I can only pick 3, then I think those will be the pilot tool and our virtual tool creation function, as well as this 8K cloud live streaming solution of Labpano and our open system. So maybe first, allow me to introduce the pilot tool. A pilot tool is actually a SLAM-based technology that will enable users to create virtual tools easily, whether they are indoors or outdoors, whether there are GPS signal or there isn't GPS signal. So compared to other methods that require users to manually connecting the dots, to manually setting directions, pilot tool can actually make virtual tours with fewer steps, with less time, and with lower cost. So we believe Labpano Pilot 1 is the most efficient VR camera out there to create those VR virtual tours in open spaces or in small spaces like a home. The second great feature of this camera is the 8K cloud live streaming solution. So we believe Labpano 1 is, as of now, the only device that can do standalone 8K live streaming through the cloud. So simply connect this device to the internet, and you can share 8K high quality real-time VR content around the globe. The third, but I think is perhaps the most important feature of this camera, is the open system. Just like our Pilot era, this camera is also equipped with an Android system that is open, that is expandable. So in the future, basically just swipe left in the start screen, and users can create their own apps that fully controls the camera, and their own app that has integrity their own workflow to customize the camera to completely their own productivity tool and to boost the efficiency of their workflow. But these are not the only features of this camera. For example, we have our still very great Google Street View uploading process. So this camera can directly upload to Google Street View to create Street View most efficiently. And also we have our real-time pilot steady system stabilization technology that enables users not only doing stable video, but also doing live streaming with a great stabilization effect.
Again, man, being able to create your own app, your own workflow, that's huge. The mobile modules are huge. I mean, this thing basically sounds like it is set up to be a work tool. So if you were going to want to make money doing 360, this might be the camera to go. But of course, the one question I had, and it's not entirely relevant to 360 tours, but for me it's relevant to video in general, is how good is the audio?
The built-in audio quality is great actually, and also we have this 3.5mm mic jack, as you can see here. So this camera can be connected to an external mic. What's more, we will develop an accessory, an Sonic mic accessory dedicated for this camera in the future.
3.5mm jack, that's pretty sweet. You don't see that on very many cameras, so a major plus there. Again, you won't necessarily use sound on a lot of 360 tours, but certainly with your live streaming and such, you're going to want good sound coming out of your camera. Now, live streaming is an area that I have yet to get into. but I'm extremely interested in getting into it, especially eventually outdoor live streaming, which I think is going to be a little bit down the line because it uses up so much data, and to try to do it cellular, I'd like to take somebody to the top of a mountain and live stream. But right now, just the thought of being able to do that, I'm intrigued with that whole dimension. So now I'm thinking that this camera looks pretty sweet and I may actually start branching out into trying to make money in 360 video as well as traditional video. So I said, Lee, bring us home, wrap things up for us. What is this camera to you?
Basically, we would like to call this camera more of a productivity tool rather than a simple camera. So if you're looking for a camera, if you're looking for a simpler, easier way to create 360 contents, whether it's pictures, it's videos, or it's live streaming, then Pilot 1 is the one we're looking for.
That's the way the camera looks to me right now. Again, I'll be getting my hands on it later, but from purely spec point of view, I'm pretty impressed with these guys and what they have offered. They are at CES right now. They have a booth there. If you're watching this from CES, look them up. I'll try to leave a link in the description as to where they are. Check them out on their social media. This really looks like the first camera that is embracing the professional 360 area, and that's an area that I'd like to make some money in besides just being a dork with the camera out on a mountain, which is what I excel at, but I digress. Making a living in 360 video pretty much comes with two conditions. One is you're either gonna make not a ton of money, but doing these tours, you can make a reasonable living, or if you wanna try to make the bigger bucks, the problem is now you're dealing with these gigantic cameras that are, funny thing is a lot of them are 8K, but they're about this big. Now the 8Ks are about this big, but the more professional end things are very bulky and very difficult to get around. So if you wanna make quick money, in 360 video, tours are the way to do it. All right, well, thanks to Lee from Labpano for answering my questions, taking time out of his busy schedule. They're releasing a camera at CES right now, and they took time to talk to your boy Skojo about their camera. And the way to make money is 360 video tours. I am Skojo in 360. I need to go out and make some money, so I'm gonna go grab my camera and...
All like superheads who fucked and